Good afternoon, students. Um, the topic I am going to discuss is on the controllers. We will see the pneumatic controller whose range of output will be in the range of 3 to 15 psi of pressure. Similarly, hydraulic controller will have the similar fluidic pressure of the range of 3 to 15 psi, and also the electronic controller whose output will be in the range of 0 to 5 volts in terms of voltage scale, and in terms of current it will be 4 milliamperes to 20 milliamperes. I hope you all remember the electropneumatic converter, that is current to pressure converter importance, and also pressure to current converter importance. Why? Because in industrial applications we'll come across with 3 to 15 psi of common scale pressure and also common scale current of 4 to 20 milliamperes. Every process variable in terms of input or giving output also will have the same similar ranges, that is 4 to 20 milliamperes and 3 to 15 psi in terms of pressure. So now the controller, what we are going to utilize, the main objective of controller is to give a controller output. Usually the input for a controller will be an error input based upon which a manipulations will be determined for deducing a controller output. And usually we have seen different types of the controllers like proportional controller, proportional integral controller, proportional derivative controller, proportional integral derivative and proportional integral derivative controller, that is PID controller. And as part of discussion of the second unit, we have come to the conclusion that preferable controllers are proportional controller, proportional integral controller, and proportional integral derivative controller, that is P controller, PI controller, and PID controller. Whenever you want to initiate the process and accelerate the process, the controller action will be given in terms of proportional controller. Whenever you want to eliminate the offset, that means to reduce the impact of error to a larger extent, we will use a combination with integral controller, that is referred as PI controller. And whenever we want to stabilize the output, because whenever we are going to eliminate the offset, there is a possibility of getting a cycling effect, making the system as destabilized. So to get a stabilized mode, we should use a delayed concept, so resulting which a derivative action must be given, that is referred as PID controller. So as part of these controllers, we must be in a position to implement a PID controller using pneumatic controller. We must be in a position to implement a PID controller in terms of hydraulic and in terms of electronic controller. So these are the physical realization of our controllers. Whatever we have studied about P controller, PI controller, and PID controller are only the type of control action, what are the advantages we are going to get, and what are their limitations we have studied as part of the second unit. But this topic of fourth unit mainly deals with whenever you want to implement a PID controller using a pneumatic controller, how we are going to implement in a pneumatic way. That is getting 3 to 15 psi of pressure output and giving to activate the final control element. Similarly, getting a 0 to 5 volts of output or 4 to 20 milliamps of output using an electronic controller and initiate the action onto the final control element. So whenever we are going to utilize a pneumatic controller or hydraulic controller, we'll prefer a control valves, that is which are being activated or initiate their action based on 3 to 15 psi signal, that is called as pneumatic valves. And whenever you want to use electric actuators like electromagnetic relay or solenoid, we should get a 4 to 20 milliamps output, where electronic controllers will be helpful for us. And also whenever you want to give a higher output, we should use a hydraulic controller. Whenever you want to give a normal output, we will use a pneumatic controller. So that is a basic difference between pneumatic controller and hydraulic controller. So this is based on pneumatic controller based on air pressure variation, hydraulic controller based on fluid pressure variation, and electronic controller will be implemented using your basic operational amplifiers, what we have studied as part of whenever we have studied about linear integrated circuits. There we might have studied about a summing amplifier, a buffer amplifier, an integrator, an inverter, a differentiator. So using those things we are going to implement the controllers there. So as part of this topic, we can mention some outcomes of this particular topic. So the first outcome may be that the students, you will be able to draw the schematic of controllers, and also once we have draw the schematic of the controllers, we must be in a position to mention all its elements. Similarly, you will be able to mention the range of control signal. So whenever it is a pneumatic signal, what is its range? 3 to 15 psi. Whenever it is a electric signal, maybe 0 to 5 volts or 4 to 20 milliamperes. Similarly, another outcome we can have is you will be able to explain the process of implementation of control action, maybe P, PI or PAD, through specific controller. Whenever I am going to utilize a pneumatic proportional controller, how it will be there. Pneumatic PAD controller, what are its elements, what is the process of implementation, how that complete explanation of that pneumatic PAD controller, you will be in a position to explain that. Similarly, hydraulic PAD controller, what is its schematic, what is its process of implementation, how the process is going on as part of getting the output. Similarly for electronic controllers. Similarly, you will be able to summarize the difference between controllers. That is, what are the advantages and disadvantages of pneumatic controller, hydraulic controller, and also electronic controller. The main objective or of any pneumatic way of controlling the signal, we should get an output of 3 to 15 psi. If electrical signal, so what we have discussed earlier, that is 0 to 5 volts or 420 milliamperes. Usually the controller initiates action on the final control element, so which will be preferably called as actuator, pneumatic actuator, electric actuator, hydraulic actuator, such that the control action is forwarded to the process through the actuator. Why? Because in between the process and the controller, we are going to have a final control element. Once we initiate action on the final control element through control output, then that action will be forwarded to the process through the actuator. And preferred control actions we are going to have is proportional control action, PA action, and PAD action. We know very well about that. For fast reacting process, what type of action we are going to utilize. That is, if it all is a flow process there, we are going to utilize a proportional action. What happens? If it all PA action, what happens? If it all is a slow process there, level process, or any temperature process, PAD action is there, what we are going to have. And also as part of the second unit, we have discussed whenever you are going to have a PAD action, we are going to have three terms, that is Kc, tau I and tau D. So these are the three controlling parameters. Kc is referred as controller gain, proportional controller gain, tau I is referred as reset time, and tau D is referred as derivative time. So initially I am initiating my control action. Usually I will keep Kc very higher value, so that it accelerates the process as well as control action. Then we are going to slowly increase the tau I value to some extent, such that my idea is only to eliminate the offset error. So till offset error is being completely eliminated, tau I will be in action. So whenever these two actions are being taken into consideration, there is a possibility of getting a cycling effect. Cycling effect means nothing but you are going to have a continuous oscillation. So let us take, this is my destination point. So completely there is a possibility of getting my oscillations like this. That means my output will be fluctuating across the destination point. Then we are going to have a tau D value, that is derivative time, where the derivative time makes the system as a stable, and it will come a decade oscillations. Finally we are going to get a stabilized output. That is the idea of implementing a Kc value, tau I value and tau d value. So whenever you are going for a pneumatic controller, hydraulic controller, electronic controller, these three parameters are going to play a vital role. And this part we will see in the next video. Thank you.